Joining me today in the studio to discuss the first meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas is Yosef Livne, a career diplomat who served as former Israeli ambassador to New Zealand, El Salvador, Bahamas, Mexico, and Belize. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
So let's begin. Many former U.S. presidents have tried in vain to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Now, what makes Trump's approach unique compared to past presidents?
No, I don't know that it is so unique. I think that people attribute this uniqueness to the fact that he hasn't come forward with a specific plan. He says, I think we can get a deal. I think we can have a peace agreement. First of all, I think it's important for a U.S. president, whoever he or she may be, to get involved. Because this is something, if we want to push forward any kind of peace negotiations or peace process, the U.S. has to be involved. So I think the first matter that we need to think about or to be cognizant of is the fact that the U.S. president is willing to get involved.
Do you think there's a chance that he could be the man that makes this happen, the American leader that actually makes this happen?
I don't know that anybody has a very concrete idea. He hasn't come forward with any specifics.
Right.
The only thing he said, 2 states, 1 state, whatever you want.
Do you think his lack of foreign policy will impact his ability to do this, or do you think that could actually work in his favor?
Well, I think that he's supposed to come to to Israel in about 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time. I think we'll have a clear idea once he gets here what it is that he wants to achieve. Maybe we should wait a few more days. Now that Abbas has been there, he's going to go back, and all the commentators will probably discuss and dissect the visit and try to understand where we're going. I think that when we talk about the peace process in the Middle East, we should be aware of one thing. At the end of the day, Abbas was the one who said no several times. Does he mean what he said when he says he wants to have a 2-state solution or whatever? Obviously, he states his most radical positions. 2 states based on the 1967 borders, with East Jerusalem as its capital. We will have to see where do we go following the visit of President Trump. There may be some sort of an event in Washington which will relaunch the conversations. I think we'll have to wait and see.
Now, let's talk a little bit about what is happening within the Palestinian territories right now. We're seeing less and less people supporting Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Do you believe that this meeting in any way is going to give a lifeline to the Palestinian president?
Look, I think the fact that he goes to Washington, that he is received by the president, it has a meaning. I mean, in most countries, when you have a leader who goes to Washington, goes to a major capital, and gets the red carpet treatment, it usually does something. The issue is, what does he want to achieve? Does he have not the stamina, but does he have the ability, the courage, to come and say, okay, we've tried everything, let's try the approach of peace.
Now, one of the big, issues that the Arab world has spoken up about is the President Trump's vow to move the American embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Now, we just saw Sean Spicer, Vice President Mike Pence, say that they are now seriously considering making that move, although nothing has happened yet. Is this going to happen, and if so, how do you believe it will impact the Israeli-Palestinian peace process?
We'll have to wait and see what kind of moves this administration will take. A few weeks ago, there was a report on one of the Israeli channels that the new U.S. ambassador is looking for a new residence in Jerusalem somewhere. They could maybe go for this kind of a solution, not a solution, yeah, in which the ambassador will have a residence in Jerusalem, but the offices, the embassy itself, will remain in Tel Aviv. So it'll be some sort of a solution which may satisfy everyone. Again, I don't have such high expectations. It's something that we've seen before. We'll have to wait and see. The question is, if you want to jumpstart some sort of a peace process, and you're going to move the embassy lock, stock, and barrel to Jerusalem, it is not difficult to assume that the reaction on the other side will not be very positive.
Right. Well, I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Thank you so much for coming in, Ambassador.
Thank you for having me again.